It was good, man. Have you ever been in a fight before?
Yeah.
I mean, you're Mexican, bro. Where are you from?
Colombian.
Colombian. Okay, there we go. Were you from Colombia?
I was born in Miami Beach, but my family's from Bogota.
So are you Colombian?
Yeah, my whole family's Colombian.
Okay, are you sure you're Colombian? What is Colombian? What is the ethnicity of Colombian? Is it just Colombian? Is that? So what you're saying is you're a fucking American. You're a fucking American with Hispanic roots. And if you're a fucking Colombian, get your ass back to fucking Colombia.
That guy tells it how it is.
I like that.
If you haven't seen that guy, I can't remember his name, Strickland something or other, but he's got a lot of videos out there. He's an MMA guy and just kind of tells it how it is.
I love the MMA for that. They just don't play this game.
Yeah.
They just do not play that game. I mean, constantly. They will not play the race game. They will not play the politics game. I'll give it to Dana White. I mean, he's done some shady stuff here and there, but man.
Yeah, beating women probably not the best move.
No, I get, like I said, he's done some shady stuff on his own, but he sure he ain't letting the crap into his leagues. And say what you will about it, but I can't get enough of Power Slap.
Why not just limit the game to 90 minutes and it's over? Ruin the fucking game. Again, catering to the minority who doesn't like baseball, but likes going to an event, and the Guardians suck.
Indians, Jim, Indians.
Look, man, I don't want to talk bad about. I like Francona. I like the players. It's not their fault that the name was changed. Management caved. You're right. They did what they did. But as far as making it 90 minutes, come on, it was still fun being at the ballpark. There is still something fun about the air out there and the hot dogs and just seeing the field and all that kind of stuff. It was something fun about being at the ballpark.
Yeah. No, of course. It's fun. I mean, dude, it's a fun time. I hate that I had to relocate my team to San Diego because I can't go to games anymore, but I can't support it. I can't jump in with the woke. I can't do it.
So there's a great fast pass for the rides that you can use. You will only wait an hour for New Star Wars rides. Regular people wait 3 hours.
There is that.
Look, man, I'll take advantage of anything that this chopping off the leg thing can get me. At this point, everybody else takes advantage of the system. I'm sure it's all going to do it. I haven't gotten much out of this leg being chopped. Well, I did get a house.
I was going to say, you got more than most.
So, I mean, if there's any benefit to getting the leg chopped off, so be it.
Do you got a handicap placard for your car?
I do.
Dude, I'll tell you where you need to go. The MGM.
I've been there, and yes, it's super duper easy to use that there.
You just go right up, pull right up, and they'll valet your car.
Yeah.
For nothing.
What did I watch? Oh, I watched the greatest movie ever last night. I think it was from like 1979 or something.
Okay.
It was called The Crippled Masters.
Okay.
It was one of those old karate kind of kung fu movies.
Okay.
Where they dubbed the words in.
Yeah, those movies.
And so, but it was about these two guys. One has his arms ripped off by the evil guy, and then one has his legs ripped off by the evil guy, and they become crippled masters.
I've seen this movie. Yeah.
So I literally was rolling around the house last night because I had my leg off, and I was in the wheelchair rolling around the house, like trying to cripple master kick my wife and daughter around the house. Yeah. And it was like the best thing ever.
There's like the one guy with no legs, and he's just crawling around chopping people in the kneecaps and stuff, and swinging on I've seen Crippled Masters. It's too funny.
If you haven't seen it, you got to look it up and find it. It was on Turner Movie Classics last night.
Nice.
Crippled Masters. It was like the greatest thing ever. But I was literally rolling around the house with no leg on, trying to karate kick my wife and daughter.
Nice.
And calling myself the next Crippled Master. I want to make the remake.
You're the crippled bastard, right?
The crippled bastard. Watch The Godfather yet? No, I still have not gotten the movies from Chris. But I will eventually.
They're still sitting in my car.
I will get them. All right, so you piqued my interest. Mayor Bibb, what's his name? Leon Bibb? Justin?
It's not Leon Bibb. Leon Bibb was like the Channel 8 announcer or whatever.
Bibb, whatever. Yeah. Cocky bastard that he is, because I've met him a couple of times, and he was very cocky towards Triv too.
Yeah.
Happy Monday to you both.
Well, thank you.
You too. He came out and said because 400 people were shot in Cleveland over the weekend that it's Republicans' fault.
Absolutely right.
You said that.
No, I'm 100% kidding. I'm 100%. Look, here's a gun. Here you go. Right here. Loaded, ready to shoot somebody, I guess. And you know what? I've had that gun for, I think, 11 years now.
Yeah.
And I voted Republican in the last 2 elections. And guess what? That gun hasn't shot anybody.
No, not yet.
No. Neither is the one in my bedroom. Neither is the one in my living room.
So you haven't walked out of the house, walked into a store, and started shooting people?
No, absolutely
you
not.
didn't go to West 6 last night and start shooting up people as they walked out of bars?
No, absolutely have not. And I'll tell it even more clear. His justification is that the concealed carry law, or the now open carry law, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I open carry everywhere because I don't trust anybody. Honestly, I just don't. I watch enough YouTube and Twitter and TikToks and stuff to know that you're an idiot if you're in your car and you own a weapon and you don't have it with you in a state that you're allowed to have it with you. You're just asking to have a problem. And so I just don't. I always carry. And guess what else is that law's been in place since what? January 1st, I think.
Yeah. All right.
I'm yet to shoot anybody.
No.
I haven't done it.
According to Mark, he changed his views on Bloom Daddy's show today. I wouldn't even reach out to this guy because I don't have any interest in talking to Mayor Bibb. You know, I just don't care. What I care about is that not a flip-flopper asshole who decides that he's going to change his tune because he goes on the radio. I care about a guy that made the comment to begin with. And the comment to begin with was that it's Republicans' fault. And so I don't care how many times you change your tune. I don't care where you change your tune at.
Right.
That doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'm sure that Carmen did a great job of kissing his fucking balls and sucking his ass and everything else and saying what a great mayor he is and all this. And I'm sure Bloom Daddy did the same, and they were great and talked how great he is. And, well, that's good that you changed your tune because it was, not really Republicans' fault. I'm sure they did a lot of ass kissing and everything else. And so I don't care. What he said to begin with is how he felt, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, he's doing what Democrats do, which is take a situation and turn it for political gain. And that's just what he did. He turned it for political gain. There's no reason to say that. There's no reason, even if it was true, which it's not. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, the shooter was screaming, "I'm a Republican and this is why I'm shooting people." If he was yelling that in the street while he was shooting people, the night of the event is not the night to make a political statement. It's just not. You know what you're supposed to do, Mayor Dumbass? You're supposed to say, this is a horrible tragedy. We feel for the families. We're not going to make any further comment right now because we want everybody's concern to be for the families. That's what you're supposed to say. And then if you want to come out on Wednesday and say, this law is bullshit, we need to change it, then fine. Then you can have your argument or this or that. Doing this nonsense that literally before the blood is dry in the street, that guy's a dick. Point blank and simple. He's Mayor Dickhead. That's who he is. Just another political pundit trying to get power.
He didn't really change. He glossed over it, Mark. I would listen to that show if you paid me to listen to it. Two, I don't know what he said, and I could care less what he said. What he said was that it was Republicans' fault. Yeah. And that's obviously what he meant when it happened. He knows his city is not safe. I mean...
It's not safe. I've never been nervous going downtown. Never. Until the last time I went downtown, and it's been a while now for me that I haven't been downtown. Last time I went downtown was when Dave Landau was playing at Hilarities, was performing at Hilarities. That was somewhere between Christmas and Thanksgiving, so November, December time frame. And I really was nervous getting back to my car. I was really, really nervous about going into the parking garage, And it's not like I was in some obscure place either. I was in the parking garage directly across the street from the House of Blues. So, that's a pretty populated parking garage, I would think, right? Because everybody that goes to any of those businesses on West 4th, or is that West 4th the one where the road has actually got the stumps up that you can't drive down?
I believe, yeah.
If that's West 4th, that's where I was. And the parking garage right across the street from the House Blues, which is right there on the corner. And I'm telling you, I felt very nervous because it was one time I didn't have my pistol with me because you can't take your pistol into the business.
Right.
So, I was like, literally as we were going in, I was telling Kelly, I was like, if something breaks off, you just take off and you get my car and you get my pistol, because the pistol was in the car. It's like, I'm not going to, but I've never felt like that in all my years. And dude, you used to run the flats too.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever feel scared? Not scared. Scared's not the word, but did you ever feel like you were close to a problem?
Well, I mean, there was one time where somebody chased me across the parking lot, but it was like 3:30 in the morning. I shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Right.
But no, I mean, going downtown never frightened me.
Yeah.
I mean,
and now
I would not take my daughter downtown now.
Absolutely.
For anything.
Absolutely correct.
And part of my childhood again was going downtown at Christmas time and seeing the lights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the lights at Tower City, and
it was and going shopping down there, and it was it was fun. And now I don't think that I would do that with my kid. I haven't taken her down there in like how many years,
dude. I'm the same with Akron too. To be honest, have you been to Akron lately?
No.
Akron's another. I used to be.
I've been to Akron, but I wouldn't go at night.
I used to be like a fixture in Akron on those Friday nights at Lock 3 where they have the concerts.
Yeah.
And I guess they still have them. But I was down there damn near every week because there's always something fun. And I was never that guy that just wanted to stay home. So I used to constantly go, I didn't care. Hey, it's a Chicago tribute band. Cool, let's go. I would just go to go and have something to do and have a couple of beers and meet some friends. Now, forget it. And it's not that I'm afraid of being there. It's more getting out of there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's dangerous now.
Bibb had to wipe his ass when he left TAM. Wouldn't shock me.
Well, at least we sent Bloom Daddy a new listener this week.
We did. Yeah, that was funny. We had a guy complain. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. It was a joint account.
Yeah.
Who complained about the show or said it's. Well, actually, he said both shows suck.
He said we're no better than Bloom Daddy.
No better than Bloom Daddy, which is fine. I guess you can compare me to. No, don't compare me. But just don't compare me to a sidekick.
Yeah.
Please. Dear God. But yeah, it was a joint account, and I get a kick out of these joint accounts. If you have a joint account, I'm sorry. If you're listening now, I apologize to you, but I can't stand you.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? I mean, like if I can't trust my wife to have her own friggin' Facebook account, or she can't trust me to have my own Facebook account.
Yeah.
There's a serious problem going
You
on.
might as well just file for divorce now.
Yes.
Because you're that's where you're going. You're going to divorce. If you don't have basic enough trust to have a social media account without your wife holding your balls in her purse, then you're a douche, and you might as well get divorced. And that guy trying to be Weisenheimer guy to us, I wasn't. And it's funny because you told me about it. When you first told me about it, I laughed. And then when I saw it, I got annoyed. And that's why I just kind of went off on him.
Make it count. Akron is rough, man. I stopped going to the fairs and bands and Lock 3, Ducks game, and I'm out.
Yeah. Even Ducks games. I'll go to a Ducks game on a Saturday afternoon. But only, I will tell you this, only if I'm parked right across the street. Because, again, I don't want to be walking those streets of Akron. I just don't want to do it.
See, the sad part is there's really some good stuff downtown in Akron. They've done some good changes in downtown Akron. My wife is from down there, and we've gone down there. There's a great deli, Diamond Deli. Mm-hmm. Remember downtown Akron? You got to go to the Diamond Deli. It's the most amazing food. But, again, at night, when trouble starts happening, you don't want to be in downtown Akron.
Right. Well, it's the kids. Wasn't that the problem that they had earlier or was it last year where they had all the young kids that were gathering and then just causing problems, so they made a curfew? Didn't they make a curfew in Akron because of this, right?
We should do it everywhere.
Yeah, well, I'm all for that. I mean, really what they ought to do is start imposing some real sentences on these criminals.
All right, maybe I'm stupid.
Okay.
Or not old enough. But I don't remember the youth of our generation acting the way that the youth of this generation acts.
Oh, we didn't.
I don't remember of course, you always had gangs. You always had that kind of stuff. But you don't have the thugs that create the kind of problems you have now when it comes to robbing, when it comes to breaking windows down, when it comes to the kind of shit that they pull these days. I don't remember that happening when we were young. Maybe somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe it happened all the time.
We did not have it, and I can tell you why we didn't have it. Because there was always a parental person in 9 out of every 10 kids' homes that would crack you hard when you acted like that. You know, I mean, I get, dude, I've never met your dad a day in my life. And I know if you were out there doing something really stupid, stealing cars or something, or damaging property, if you were just out kicking over tombstones or something in whatever the local cemetery was, your dad got wind of it, he would have cracked you. And then B, you would have been grounded doing the worst kind of horse shit stuff for the next probably year.
Yeah.
And he would have made you call every person that you did it to and apologize. You would have been held to a standard of consequence. There's no standard of consequence anymore.
Well, but it goes back to everything, though. I mean, it goes back to even the youth now doesn't want to work the way that
of course not.
We did when we were younger. The attitude towards jobs, the attitude toward family, the attitudes towards life in general is not the same. No. And again, maybe I just missed it because I wasn't one of those kids. So maybe I missed it. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's been going on all along. I don't know. You know, that's what my daughter will tell me. Well, you're just old. It's been this way all the time. No,
it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
It has.
It has not been. Look, I was a bad kid. I don't know how bad you were, but I was a bad kid.
I wasn't good.
I was a pot dealer. I was definitely a drug dealer as a kid. You know, that's what I did. I mean, I didn't sell hard drugs, but I definitely sold pot to anyone that would buy it. In school, out of school, you know, it didn't matter to me. At the college, I used to go to Kent State on Saturdays to sell weed. I mean, that was my thing. Was I worked at a church. I made $120 every 2 weeks. I took that $120, bought weed, sold it for $500, and it just kept doubling my money out.
Right.
You know, that was what I did. And that was from the time I was like 14 years old on. You know, so I was a bad kid. Got in a million fights, got suspended from school every single year. All 12 years of school, or 13. Even kindergarten, for throwing a desk at a teacher. You know, I mean, I was your definition of a bad kid in the late 70s up into the mid 80s. I was a bad kid. And whenever I got caught doing stuff, I would get the hammer. I mean, it was the hammer came down on me.
Right.
And I think, you know, and again, I'm not trying to justify the bad stuff that I did do, but there was no bailout either. You know, today, if the kids of today, like when they were burning down Cleveland, you know, back in 2020 or whatever, was that 2020, 2021? Whatever year that was, when suddenly COVID went away so that they could burn down the city. Yeah. You know, that time. You had the parents of these people coming out and saying, well, they're disenfranchised and they have the right to be angry. None of them were saying, where is my kid? Why is he doing that? You know, I'm going to, you know, you see the old videos of like, you know, the older generation when their kids acted up. And you see when the kid gets arrested, like on Good Times or something back in the 70s or whatever. And what do you see? The father goes in there, grabs JJ by the ear and yanks him out of the jailhouse, knowing that he's going to get an ass whooping. You know, that's what we had to deal with. Now it's just like they want you to be an asshole. Yeah, he probably does want to know that.
Bill Wills had trouble this morning in the TM parking garage at 4:30 a.m. I wouldn't shock me. I mean,
no. Where is TAM now? Where is it? Is it in Tower City?
That's on Euclid.
Oh wow. Oh.
It's on Euclid, like they're on the first floor, I think, so you can see the studios on the ground and everything.
Okay.
And then there's a parking garage right next to it that
Yeah.
it's free, I guess, for them to park in. So it would shock me at all.
That would shock me, dude. I mean,
Wait till
back
the
when
weather gets bad and all these homeless people and everything else, and the thieves are going into these parking garages where it's nice and dry, where they can kick some ass and take your money.
yeah, and take your car. Just take your car, steal it, run it out of gas, but it'd be a warm place to sleep. Yeah, dude, it's. I mean, there's always been some semblance of danger in downtown Cleveland. Like, I was obviously at CBS, at the CBS block, which is over there on, was that East Huron, I guess? I think.
Yeah.
Like 9th and Huron.
Yeah, it was over there.
And there was that parking garage across the street there that was dangerous as hell. It was definitely, and the elevator was always broke too. So
Yeah.
a lot of times you had to go up the steps, and there was always homeless guys in the stairwells. Always homeless guy. Hey, bro, can you give me $5? Just keep on walking. But literally, you ended up doing the kind of pirouette spin on the steps to make sure this guy didn't follow you. And at that time I didn't have a gun, so I used to carry a knife with me just in case. Just in case I needed something on the fly, because I was definitely not scared, but conscious of what was going on. Now, a knife or a gun, honestly, it's not enough. They need to literally have cops on the corners back to that day. Don't you think?
Yes, I absolutely agree.
I mean, didn't they, from what I heard, this thing that they had, this incident that they had over the weekend, there were cops there, weren't there?
Yeah, and but people were getting shot all over the place over the weekend. Even over by the ballpark, people were shot.
Yeah.
Foxy moved their Foxtrot 5K to the Cleveland Zoo due to runners did not feel safe on the route. And it was from the Flats to Lakeside and beside 9th. Yeah,
I believe that.
Of course.
Who wants to run down there?
Look,
I mean, you're running down there just to get the hell out of the crime scene.
And I'm not trying to be a dick. Look, Cleveland is a very nice town. There's a lot of good stuff about downtown Cleveland. A lot of pretty things downtown. I love, the Rock Hall is a wasted space. I wish they would do more.
Well, they are. They're putting 50,000 more square feet in there.
Oh, really? That's nice.
Can't wait to never visit that.
Is that the hip-hop wing?
Probably is. The Madonna wing.
Yeah. It could be so great.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great things about downtown Cleveland. But the fact that it's not safe is not good.
No.
And the fact that we have a mayor who would rather pass it along and say it's the Republicans' fault rather than take responsibility for the fact that he doesn't have enough cops down there and he doesn't have enough foresight to keep everything safe. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of ways to keep all these things and bars and everything safe down there.
Yeah, there are. And one of the biggest ways is actual cops not undercovers either. Because I keep hearing that too about we had cops on the scene, but they're all undercovers. Well, that doesn't encourage anybody to keep moving and not act like an idiot.
Have cops on horses.
Yeah, or just in uniform. Just in uniform. What is wrong with having the cops in the? Dude, how many baseball games you been to in your life?
Oh, a bunch.
Like 100?
Yeah, probably.
When you were leaving Jacobs Field, because I'm assuming it was back in the Jake days.
Of course.
When you were leaving Jacobs Field, remember how everybody came out en masse, but every 50 people there was a cop.
Yes.
There was always a cop. Now think about this for a minute. Did you ever see a problem?
No.
That was with 10 to 30,000 people exiting, a lot of them drunk, a lot of them angry half the time because the Indians weren't always winning. So you had angry drunk people en masse walking out into the street, and there was never an issue.
You always felt safe. My wife and I stayed at a hotel downtown, went to an
Sure.
Indian game, and we sat outside on a bench just talking to people as they were walking by and hanging out because he didn't feel like there was going to be a problem. I hung outside at Tower City one day after a baseball game.
Yeah.
I hung out with a couple of Red Sox players who were staying at the Ritz or the Renaissance, one of the two
Sure.
were there, and they walked out of Tower City. I recognized them. They sat and talked to us for 20 minutes, and you didn't feel like there was going to be a problem.
Right. Now you wouldn't stop in front of Tower City to tie your shoe.
No, because you saw cops inside of Tower City. You saw cops outside. I mean, yeah, it's not the same.
And it didn't feel like a prison either, because that's always the argument is, well, I don't want to live in a prison state. It didn't feel like a prison state to have police just keeping things moving. It never did.
I have not seen police on horses after Browns games for a few years.
Yeah? Well, I don't know what you think, but I think that when this really changed was when the Cavs won the championship. Once they had all those people down there, that's when I stopped seeing so many cops down there. I saw a big change after that because the city lost their ass in security money. And then it just, disintegrated from there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know when it changed because I stopped going downtown.
Yeah.
I know that for a lot of years when I worked in Tower City, it was really fun. And I was able to actually go downtown and enjoy being downtown, and the shopping and everything else was fun.
Right.
I was able to go down to like the food court down there and get food and not feel like uncomfortable. And then the last time that I was at Tower City with Triv, by the way, but he left.
Right.
But I walked through Tower City. I was terrified. I was afraid that somebody was going to get hit.
Sure.
And dropped and robbed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's just gotten scary down there, man. I wouldn't be down there on purpose anymore. I got to have an exact reason to go. Well, even with the Landau show. When I went to the Landau show, I found out exactly what time he was going on the stage. And I got down there exactly when he started. Not a minute. And then, that's so, for me anyway, and probably for you too, that is so different than how we were raised. Dude, if you were going to an event, whatever it be, a Cavs game, a Indians game, a comedy show, a concert, whatever it was, you'd usually be down there by like about 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Go down, get a dinner, get a drink, maybe 2.
Game time. That's what I'm getting her now.
Yeah, it's literally, if I was to go to a concert at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, I would find out what time the band is going on stage. And I would not show up 20 minutes before then. I would literally time it so that I don't have any time to interact with riffraff. Have just enough time to get in, get checked in, and get to my seat. And hopefully as I'm sitting down, the lights drop. That's the way I want it.
Let's see here. Bibb is a damn even made Cleveland 1 unsafe. Yeah, well, look, here's the other problem that we have, and maybe it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the youth of today. It's not like it's just Cleveland.
No, it's
not.
not.
That's why this asshole mayor, who apparently changed his tune with people sucking his ass today, said it's Republican fault. You can't blame Chicago on Republicans. You can't blame. What are you doing? It's the youth of today. I'm not going to sit here and play the race game, but it is the youth of today that are causing this problem. They're shooting people all over the place.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you take away AR-15s or not.
No.
AR-15s aren't the problem.
Well, like you said, or like I said, here's one that didn't shoot anybody this weekend. It's right here.
And
how did that happen? Because I voted Republican into the last 2 elections. Apparently that gun should have murdered somebody this weekend. It's my fault.
And Richard says the city is only 800 police officers short. Would you want to be a cop now?
You'd have to pay me a lot.
Now, if you're a cop, they want to blame you for everything.
Yeah.
You shoot a criminal, and you're the criminal.
Well, and that's another scary part of it is those cops that were down in, because like they said, there was plenty of cops in the middle of it. If those cops would have seen this guy draw and shooting and shot this guy, they're automatically being sued. They're automatically going to be sued by the family and the NAACP and whatever caucus and whatever advocacy group there is out there. They're going to be sued. So if you know you're going to be sued, what are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to let him shoot everybody before I'm going to step in. Run out of bullets, then I'll tackle you.
You would like to think that the cops should do their jobs, but they're not allowed to do their jobs. And so
Dude, would you do your job? Would you, whatever your job was, would you do that job if the odds were 50-50 that just doing that job could land you in prison for the rest of your life?
No, probably not.
Absolutely not.
And now you're afraid to even be a good citizen when you look at what happened in New York in the subways, and what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
People are out of control. Mm-hmm. My daughter was just in New York, and she goes, "Oh, it's such a great city. Oh, it's so great. It's so wonderful. And the people there are so nice and everything." Okay,
Where was she?
You were only there for 4 days.
Yeah, and where was she? Was she in Manhattan?
Yeah.
What people was she running into? Wow.
But she had a great time, and I don't blame her. And look, if you're going on vacation, it's vacation. That's what vacations are supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And you hope you don't run into any problems. And she didn't. That's great. But you hear so many stories that come out of these big cities, these liberal big cities, of all this kind of stuff happening, the crime, the murders, theft, the robbery, all that kind of stuff. It happens.
And it's
out of control.
And let's be honest about your daughter. Your dad probably had his head on a swivel to make sure that you weren't guided into the wrong set of people either.
Of course.
That's why your daughter met the nice people, because your dad kind of directed some traffic.
And then last night when we're watching the news, I had it on, and there was somebody that was shot and killed in Queens, right by where she was at. Yeah, I was just there. I was like, well, "That's what I'm trying to tell you." Yeah, but it happens everywhere. It happens here, obviously.
Yeah, it happens all over the place. There's not a safe zone. That's the weird thing about it. I guess the safe zone is kind of middle America. And I mean even a little more middle than us, like a little further west. That those middle, you don't hear a whole lot about I don't know, Idaho having shooting problems, or
I'm sure
Colorado,
or on occasion. I'm sure they
do
issues. Everybody has their problems.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So even your dad checked in just a little. He was navigating just a little, as he should. That's his job. That's kind of his that was his job. Was take care of your kid.
Someone else always causes these youth to do what not their
Dude, it's a bad time. There's no two ways about it. It's not that we're just old and we're just reacting differently to it. It's not.
The youth of today feels like they're owed something.
They do.
When I was young, I didn't feel like I was owed anything. I acted probably like an ass because I was just a stupid kid.
Yeah.
But now, for some reason, the youth of today feels like they're owed something. Like they need to. I saw a video today of a girl who sat there and she was saying, "I don't need a job. I don't want a job. I shouldn't have to work. I should be able to get up and take vacations whenever I want to take vacations." And it's like that is the mindset out there of some of these kids.
Yeah.
That they are owed something that they didn't earn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that, and they want mid-level pay before they've earned it. That's another big one that drives me crazy. Oh, I'm not going to work for $15 an hour. And meanwhile, well, what have you done to earn to that level? Not that $15 an hour is a lot of money, but what have you done to earn to that level? That's my question. If you can say, well, this is what I've done, and this is why dude, I don't know what your first job was. Mine was $3 an hour at St. Joan of Arc Church in Streetsboro.
Nice.
$3 whopping bucks an hour, $120 every 2 weeks for cutting grass and weeding, doing that kind of crap. And, setting up for bingo and tearing down from bingo and stuff. It was a crappy job and a lot of hours for no money. But I earned my way up. That's what I did was I worked my way up so the next job was like $10 an hour. That's how you did it.
All right, let's take a quick break. We got John Pizzaha coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sound good?
All right,
hang on.
What separates Triv's restaurant in Strongsville from everybody else? Some restaurants you go to eat the same thing over and over and over. But then there are restaurants like Triv's, where you want to go there every single time and eat something different until you have eaten every single item on the menu. Why? Because the food's delicious, and it has been for almost a quarter of a century. Trivs has amazing food, outstanding service, and an opportunity for you to have private dining, special events, and intimate occasions. You can enjoy a memorable fine dining experience in your own dedicated, intimate space. Visit Trivs in the heart of Strongsville. Call now for reservations, 440-238-8830. Trivs in Strongsville. Joe Burdick custom flags are amazing. Each flag is handcrafted to reflect the imperfect perfection, making each piece of patriotic wall art unique. This is a local small business, veteran-owned and proud. Joe Burdick creates symbolic artwork that is built to last. Display your spirit, pride, and patriotism by calling 440-305-2065 and let Joe's flag serve you. 440-305-2065. Joe Burdick Flags. Let me introduce you to Charlie's Auto Repair. Any car, any truck, any problem, Charlie's does it right. You know how it is. The check your engine light comes on, you put air in the tires, and the light is still on. 216-470-0170. That's Charlie's Auto Repair, 13728 Madison in Lakewood. Charlie can do it all, from small engine repair to fleet maintenance and system diagnostics. 216-470-0170. Charlie's Auto Repair. Let Charlie make your car great once again.